uneven. Hey, we're live. It would appear. Hi, everybody. I'm. Thanks, Cody. I have to sign off from my tech friend in Ohio who helped us get on here. It's more complicated than you would think. I'm Laura Chandler, from the executive director of the Foundation of the Sacred Stream. I am with Lisa Gucciardi, the founding director of the Sacred Stream, and we are excited to be here on this solstice eve, right? Solstice eve, and we are really happy to be celebrating the emerging from the dark into the light, the beautiful, wonderful richness of the darkness as the light begins to change. And as the light begins to come in more and more, and Isa is going to talk about that. And this is something we have done at the Sacred Stream for nearly 20 years, celebrating the solstices. Isa will say longer because she was doing it before we were the Foundation of the Sacred Stream. But the Foundation of the Sacred Stream has been doing our solstice and equinox celebrations and drum circles every solstice and equinox for over 20 years. So we are excited to be live with all of you and to be able to do this online. And
we finally figured out that we could do it online. We're waiting to go back to the center for the drum circle.
Yeah.
Waiting. Oh, we can't do it now.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't do it now. Oh, wait a minute. We could do this online.
Yeah.
So we are now officially online.
Yeah. So let us know that you're here, and type something in the chat to say hello. And I see Jen Maitre is here, and Christine Tracy, and Beth, and Kate Bailey, and Kat Marlowe. Welcome, everybody. So nice to be in virtual circle with you.
All right. So I'm resisting opening circle, but I guess should I?
You can open circle. Why not?
Okay.
Amy's here.
Good. Okay, great. The sun is a circle.
The sun is a circle.
The moon is a circle.
The moon is a circle.
The earth is a circle.
The earth is a circle.
The drum is a circle.
The drum is a circle.
We are a circle within a circle.
We are a circle within a circle.
Thank you. So, traditionally we have come together here, usually, as we say, within the drumming circles of the Sacred Stream Sanctuary. But here we are in non-local sanctuary space. And we do this to remember and to honor our relationship to the sun. And we do this at the equinoxes, when the sun and the night have equal time. And then we do it at the solstices in the spring, where the sun has more time. And then in the winter, where the night has more time. And we remember the way that the sun reminds us about the rhythm of change that nature shows us all around us. And one way this dance can best be marked is by observing the movement of the celestial spheres in the heavens and the change of seasons on the earth. And this is something that we often, in our mad rush to do this or do that, we forget. And it's important to take this moment to feel where we are in the relationship to the sun and to the dark. And this dance, of course, is a dance that we can engage in by expanding our awareness of the sun's movements. And one of the things that I always like to recommend to people to really understand the way that the sun is moving is to try to get up in the morning and wind up in the same spot just before dawn and watch the sun rise. And when you do that, you really begin to notice the way how much the sun is actually moving as it rises every morning. And of course, it moves very far south in summer, very far north in winter. And those of you that have been to the Sacred Stream Center, you know about the arched window that is above the main altar. And the people who built the Lutheran church at the time, it was in the early 1900s, knew they were Finns and they knew something about the sun. and because they have so little of it in the winter. So they built this arch stained glass window. And, I always wondered, what's going on here, And then I started realizing it's there to catch every moment of the sun's rise as it moves from north to south. So we have the sun streaming in every morning, always in the sanctuary. There always arises somewhere in the sanctuary. So, so the last time we were together here in Circle, we were observing the fall equinox, when the day was as long as the night, and the sun was in a different place in the arch than it was the other morning when I was there. And since that time, the nights have been growing longer and the days have been growing shorter. And today we're here to celebrate the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year, and which is also right around Laura's birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
She likes to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Laura.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That was very special.
Yes. It's because I'm such a good singer.
You are. Well, yes. I am very close to the solstice.
I think I was thinking about that this morning, how special it is that you were born on the solstice.
Mm-hmm. I was born on a full moon.
Yeah. I mean,
very
it's
early
kind
in
of
the
very
morning.
magical.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
and I just had that full moon, right? Kind of on the morning of my birthday.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
And it was a beautiful full moon.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. It was sort of an tangerine full moon.
Yeah.
And the coyotes we had the coyotes all night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. They were really going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, happy birthday, happy birthday. So for us, of course, the December solstice marks, again, the longest night and the shortest day. Meanwhile, in the Southern Hemisphere, for anyone in Australia, of course, you're having a very different experience, where the nights are short and the days are long.
The summer solstice.
And the summer solstice there. And we need to remember something important. In Latin, solstice means the sun sets still. Sol, of course, is sun, and I think it's dicere is to stay or stand. And so when we say it's a solstice, it's because the sun does appear to stand still, because it rises in the same place for several days at the solstice. As I was saying, it moves along the horizon, but at the solstices, it stays in the same place. And so looks like the sun is standing still, which is, you have to remember when we're talking about this moment of observing the skies, and that people have been making these observations for millennia, time immemorial. And the knowing where you are in time and space is a big deal when you don't have calendars or clocks. And so, and and the sun and the moon and the night and the day, they really dictate our experience of life. But we don't really think about that. We just think, oh, it's day, it's night, it's day, night. I didn't get enough done today. Oh, I gotta get it done tomorrow. Yeah. But when you're observing the heavens and observing your relationship to them, you begin to find yourself again in that dance, and you begin to understand your experience on the earth as a function of experience of the sun itself. And this is why you have so many ancient peoples honoring the sun, right? Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about several different places. But did you want to do something? Feels like you want to do something first.
Oh, you're very psychic.
Yes.
No, I just wanted to.
I'm feeling you're going to say something.
I'm going to say something now.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to welcome everyone. I want to thank everyone for the happy birthday wishes, and also invite you to like and subscribe to the stream. So if you subscribe to the stream, and you can hit the like button, and all of this somehow mysteriously works to just get the channel seen more. So again, we appreciate you being here, and if you can like and subscribe, and back to you.
Okay. Oh, look at all those happy birthdays. I can't.
I
Really
know. Thank you. And I will say, see, Athena's here, and Barry, and Virginia, and Lissa, and Julia, Elizabeth. And Vimala's here from Vietnam, and Christine. Oh, great. Hi, everybody.
Okay, nice that you're here. Thank you for being here. It's really wonderful to be with you on the solstice.
Yeah.
So I'd like to talk about some of these places where what we're going to do, we're going to talk about different cultures that have observed the sun in really more formal ways. And then we're going to do a meditation or a journey on the theme of the season. And then we're going to do a healing circle, because I think we really can't do too many healing circles these days. So I thought, we've spent a lot of time together at a major winter solstice temple. And I was thinking maybe you could talk about your experience of it.
At Maze How?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that there are certain things that are really striking about so many of these Neolithic places where these, what they call tombs, they're not really tombs. We think that they are more temples. They're initiation, kind of places of initiation and ritual, really for more ancient peoples. I think in later times, maybe the Druids or some of the later peoples began burying people there and doing those kinds of things. But really, you really get the feeling of how of the ritualistic nature of it. And one of the striking things about all of these so-called tombs or cairns is they'll have these like a really like a huge slab of rock, and when you go into that small space, it's like you've entered the void. It's stillness. It's like a purity of quiet and stillness. And you imagine that probably a rock was placed over the entrance to these places. And I'm going to talk about Maze How, but I'm just kind of giving the feel for it generally. And they're small places. Many of them are very small. And you would imagine that people would, that these initiates would stay in there for a number of days. And then as the rock is rolled away, the light enters. And we think probably those rituals were taking place at certain times of the year, that these were built to face certain places aligned with the sky and aligned with the sun, and often aligned with Venus. But Maze How in particular is one that's aligned with the winter solstice. And it's one of the largest cairns, right? And it's huge. You can, a lot of people can fit in there, maybe 20 or 30 people, maybe more. But the way you enter it is by crawling through a small tunnel. And then it opens into this large, I always liken it to a womb. It's a large, open, enclosed space. And what's unique about it is that at the very back of the cairn is a spiral. And on the winter solstice, and so you can watch this occur actually, because they have cameras now at Maze How that demonstrate this, or you can watch online.
Let's see the webcam. Yeah, you can go look at the webcam.
And as the sun rises on the winter solstice, it penetrates, it flows through the tunnel all the way to the back of the cairn and illuminates the spiral. And one thing I want to say about that is, what I think of when I think of this really womb-like place. You have the birth canal, you have the womb, is that there is a sense of birth, death, and resurrection in that cycle. So that's always where my feeling, my thoughts, my imagination go to.
And the thing you have to remember that these cairns that we're talking about, and Maze Howe in particular, are constructed out of stones that weigh 70 tons each.
They're heavy.
They're very big and they're very heavy, and they're precisely fit together. And the long corridor that you walk into Maze Howe has huge stones on either side of you, and the stone that the sun. So the sun on the it's actually, I think, the winter solstice sunset and the summer solstice sunrise. Okay. And so at that moment of the sun's setting, it goes down that corridor of these huge walls, and it flashes onto a very highly shined, huge ancient rock, and so it becomes the sun.
Oh yeah.
So the sun is born within the darkness.
Yeah.
And then you have, the chamber is an arched big room. It's a large room, and then it has some small antechambers to one side of it. And so I think this is probably where the initiates were meditating or resting, and then the sun would come into the chamber. And so the whole site of this Maze House in a place it's called Orkney, the Orkney Islands in Scotland. And it's at a place called the Ring of Brodgar and the Ness of Brodgar, which was a massive celestial observatory, only recently understood as such.
Yeah.
And one of the main initiatory processes that was explored there was, of course, this birth and death that you're talking about. So we for 10 years, I took classes there, and we would study. It was called Before the Druids. Yeah. And so we would study this body of knowledge that the earth was providing people before the Druids, which the Druids carried forward into Celtic Europe. And if the virus ever goes away, maybe we'll start doing
that again.
And we go in and we actually, really have amazing experienes there.
Yeah. So there are some people who've been there with us here.
That's great. Right.
Yeah.
And if you have anything you want to say about your experience there, let us know if you want to type it in.
Or just type it in. And, I will say one other thing about Orkney is, and it's known as the Egypt of the North, because there are so many Neolithic ruins there. And it's so untouched. It's becoming a little more known or popularized now, but you really feel like you're stepping back in time, not just into Neolithic times, but you really feel like you're in the early 1900s or something. It's just one-lane roads. Nobody locks their doors. There's hardly anybody there. You can go walk around in the Ring of Brodgar, which is the third largest stone circle in the world. And it's not like Stonehenge, which has been pretty roped off. So
and you have highways on three sides of a Stonehenge.
People still do some rituals up there, and it's there's still some time left to experience it, in that way.
And I've actually spent quite a bit of time at Stonehenge myself. When I was in university in Paris, every summer I would go walk the Salisbury Plain, and trying to find ley lines and, hiking from stone circle to stone circle. And so I've spent a lot of time at Stonehenge. I was there before now you have it, it's wired off, with barbed wire, but it was open at that time. And, the highways were zipping around, but still it's still a very magical place. And the interesting thing about Stonehenge in terms of being a marker for the solstice is that it has, again, of course, it has these enormous multi-ton rocks that are in this circle, and they are placed in such a way that at the winter sunrise, the winter solstice sunrise, the there's a tiny little opening between where the rocks are placed, and it looks like this big starburst where the sun comes through that opening, and then you have the whole circle illuminated through this starburst, which is really amazingly beautiful. And it's also aligned in the direction of the summer solstice and the sunset of the winter solstice. And this is about, Stonehenge is about 5,000 years old, and the Ring of Brodgar is around that same age, the Nessa Brodgar. And so there was a lot going on in Britain. and actually, Britain was the center of, and Orkney in particular was the center of learning, where you had shamans from all over Europe would come there to study at Stonehenge and at Newgrange in Ireland. And so, it's interesting because it's a very high, it's very far north, and so you're very aware of how dark the winter is. It's it's almost at the same level as Norway. So it's, you're very aware of, and the aurora borealis is there all the time. So you're very aware. So it's an interesting place for people to come and study this sort of thing, birth and death.
Right. And one of the things I was just going to add is that, when we started going there, it was before the big discovery at the Ring of Brodgar, and I'll say a little bit more about that. But one thing to remember is back in Neolithic times, it was actually a Mediterranean climate. So the Brittany was very Britain. That's sorry. Britain was pretty mild and temperate climate, and this Isa and I have been going there, and during the time bringing students, and at a certain point they discovered this
Temple,
kind of a temple, but in a gathering, a place of gathering. And as they started to excavate it, it just grew and grew and grew. And so every summer, because you can't really dig in the winters or much in the fall or spring, so every summer you would have all of these volunteer archaeologists from all over the world who will come and dig, and they do this still. It's the second biggest dig in the world, second to Pompeii. So it's really exciting, and what they've discovered is there was a lot going on, and a lot more than they had thought was going on, and we get really excited about that. But I'll leave it there. You can look this up
next year. Next year, if we're still online, I'll tell you lots of stories about this.
Yeah. But one thing I'll say, last thing I will say about the dig is, so when you go to Ring of Brodgar, you can go to the dig, and you see everybody in there digging, and every hour or so, an archaeologist will talk about, show you what they've found and talk about what they've discovered and the new ideas that they have about it. But you get the feeling, it's really clear that this will change how we think about Neolithic peoples, how we think about Europe, how we think about history, in decades to come. It's actively changing what we know. So it was pretty profound. And one other thing I'll say, sorry, I get really excited. One of the archaeologists was talking about when they were discovering the dig, and usually what they do is they walk around a dig site before they've dug it, when they know that they found something and they don't know what it is. They take a stick and they stick it into the ground, just to see what's there. And he said, usually you'll put the stick in the ground, put the stick in the ground, put the stick in the ground, put the stick in the ground. Oh, then you hit something. He said, everywhere they put the stick in the ground, they hit something, and they were like, this is big. So
one of the things that they found there was a figurine of looks like a pregnant woman. And so I
fertility.
Yeah. Well, birth and death. We were getting in our journeys that this was a place where there was a ritual place of birth and ritual place of death. We were getting that. And now the archaeology is bearing that out in multiple ways.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
So, so of course, now one of the things when they discovered Maze Hao, they immediately began comparing it to the Great Temple, the Great Pyramid in Egypt at Giza, which is also aligned to Venus. It has these large shafts that are aligned to the cycles of Venus and to the sun. And immediately there was this understanding, well, these people are connected. And one of the places in Egypt where the sun is really, really worshipped, it's a place that I'd love to go sometime. I haven't been there. Maybe some of you have. It's Karnak, which is, it's near Luxor, and it is a sprawling temple complex. And probably about 2000 BC, it was begun or built. And it has many moments, it marks moments of the sun. And there's on the day of the winter solstice, the sun rises between the portals of the Great Gate of Nakten Nebo and bathes the sanctuary of Amun-Re in light. And Amun-Re, of course, is a form of the sun god, very important form of the sun god. Amun meaning the hiddenness of divinity, and Re meaning the sun. So when I was listening to that etymology, I was thinking, so here's a place where they're celebrating the hidden dimensions of the sun. And it just, I mean, there's some thoughts about journey work to do, which I've been doing. And I recommend it to you. They were really keyed in to the mystery of the sun and created, again, this enormous complex. That's just one place that I've just described in this temple complex, but there's something called the great hypostyle hall there, which is 50,000 square feet with 134 massive columns arranged in 16 rows, and 122 of these columns are over 33 feet tall, and the other 12 are 69 feet tall. So you get an image of like the sun coming into this hall at particular moments, and the kinds of celebrations and understandings of the sun that were developed there.
Yeah.
And then the last place that I just want to mention in terms of, showing you there's many, all around the globe you have these celestial observatories, but of course one that's nearby here in California is in Tulum in Mexico. And there they have huge, again, perfectly aligned stoned temples and buildings, which and there again, when the sun rises on the winter solstice, there's a hole at the top of one of the pyramids that is right between the stones, and the shaft of light comes in again in a very similar way to Stonehenge. So interesting that everyone 5,000 BC to 2000 BC were kind of tuned into the same place. And
we have that also in another place where we have taken groups to Mesa Verde.
Mesa Verde, yeah.
And that whole area, Chaco Canyon, and you also have this alignment to the stars and to the sun and the moon and the solstices, and it's really remarkable. And it's taken, I think, our culture, our kind of more modern Western culture, it's taken us a long time to look up. It's taken a long time to look up and then go, what were they doing? And they were literally building entire cities of aligned to the stars and forming these backdrops to different alignments of the sunlight. It's remarkable, and we still only know a portion of it. I think we may never know.
Well, when I started, traipsing around the Salisbury Plain, in the 70s, no one really knew about astroarchaeology.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and nobody knew that everybody's going, what were these circles? What were these things?
Yeah.
Nobody knew, because the astronomers were doing their thing and the
Yeah.
geologists were doing their thing, and
Mhm.
nobody was really getting together. So, and so now it's in the last 30 to 40 years
Mhm.
where this whole world of understanding of the depth of knowledge and wisdom that these ancient peoples held
Mhm.
about the celestial events and the way that they affect life on Earth is really being understood.
Yeah.
So to that end, I'd like to do a meditation
Sounds good.
to connect with the stars and the sun. One of the things that's happening right now, astronomically, is that there's the Ursid meteor shower.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, this happens annually between December 17th and 25th. It's always nice. It's the shooting stars of the winter, and it peaks this year on the night of the 21st. So tomorrow night it will be peaking, and so because we have these shooting stars, I thought we might do a meditation that incorporates the stars.
Okay. I'm game.
When the largest star is here.
Yeah.
Getting ready to expand its path across the sky again. Okay, so just allowing yourself to get settled. And if you have a journey practice, of course, please feel free to journey on this. I'll kind of do a combination meditation journey in that case. So just allowing yourself to get settled, noticing all the places where the surface under you meets the different parts of your body. And as you do, just noticing where your breath is. And just watching your breath as it moves in, and watching your breath as it moves out. And just allowing yourself to follow your breath into your inner world as you breathe in, allowing it to take you into that place within you where everything that you've ever known or felt or sensed or dreamed or imagined is recorded. And as you come into this space, just allowing yourself to step into the dark night. The longest night. And just allowing yourself to get comfortable in the dark, in the silence, and the spaciousness. Continuing to watch your breath here in the deep silence, darkness of the winter solstice night season. Just deepening your awareness and your attention here. And as you deepen your attention and your awareness, allow yourself to become tuned to the night sky here. And allow yourself to become aware if there might be a shooting star that comes into this darkness. And remembering the times that you may have wished upon a star, on a shooting star. And allow yourself to bring your greatest wish into your full awareness. As you allow yourself to sense or feel or imagine a shooting star here in the darkness. As you tune your awareness, your attention, sensing or feeling or imagining a shooting star here. Just asking, what is it pointing to within you? What is your greatest wish? And bringing your full awareness to this greatest wish within you. And asking for guidance about how you can work with the expanding light in the next few months as the sun rises higher in the sky, creating longer days. Ask how you can work with that expanding light to bring this wish into fruition. As the days grow longer and the sun rises higher. And just knowing that you can return to this space as often as you like in the coming days as the sun continues to grow in strength, to continue to receive guidance on how you might best fulfill this wish from this star that has come to you here in the night of the winter solstice. Just gathering everything that you've learned here, or felt or experienced here, knowing you can return at any time. And then when you're ready, just coming back to your breath. Watching your breath move in, and watching your breath move out. And when you're ready, just following your breath back out into the room. And just feeling the surface under you again. You want to stretch a bit. And then just taking some moments to reflect on your experience. You might want to write down some thoughts. You want to share anything in the chat, please do.
Francesco says it was a wonderful meditation. Thank you. We have a heart from Hello Yoda. Yeah, very lovely meditation. Thank you.
May all your wishes come true.
Yeah.
All right. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to do a healing circle with that wish that everyone's wishes for good could come true.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is I'll guide you in the meditation. And then what you can do is go ahead and say the names. Should we have people unmute and say names? Is that okay or not?
They're not muted.
They're not muted.
I was thinking that.
Wait, this isn't Zoom.
No. I was thinking that it also maybe should be silent, just given the nature of this, because otherwise it's just us saying names and then there's
no. Yeah. Okay. So
privacy issue.
Okay.
So you can say it aloud, these names. I think it would be powerful to say, any name aloud in the circle, and we're going to basically hold that space. I think I'm feeling kind of like holding the space of the initiation chamber.
That's wonderful.
That deep silent void place.
Okay. Okay. So just allowing yourself to get settled again. Just watching your breath. And just allowing any other thoughts that might come into your mind just to pass through as you settle into focusing on your breath. And as you settle into your breath, just allowing that deep space to open again. And just calling all of your guides and compassionate teachers, compassionate mentors, into the space here and into the circle here, bringing their power, their wisdom, and their compassion, and joining us here in the circle. And then when you're ready, just taking a moment and just say the name of any person or any group of people or any being at all for whom you would like to offer, or to whom you would like to offer the power of this circle for their best and highest good. And of course, we do this without any attachment to outcome. Just offering the power of this circle to all of these people, all of these beings, whose names have been called. And again, offering the power of the circle to them without any attachment to outcome and for their best and highest good. And then just coming back to your breath. Thanking the guides and mentors and teachers who have been here. Coming back to your breath. And just following it back out into the room as you exhale. Opening your eyes whenever you're ready. So if anybody has any thoughts or comments they want to put in the chat, please feel free. anyone has any questions or anything like that. Comments. I think there's some things that came in from before.
Okay, you want me to read them?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. A lot of people are ready to go to Scotland.
You can see me. You can see me drive on the other side of the road. I'm really good at it.
You did drive that big van onto the ferry. That was terrifying.
And all around the road, all around the
That
islands.
it was terrifying
I
and
was
fun.
very good.
You were very good.
Yes,
It was exciting.
no one was afraid.
No.
Except you.
I wasn't afraid. Yeah, it was fun. Of course, all the roads are just these small one-lane roads. It's very, like I said, early 1900s. Yeah. So we have Christine met a new guide, and Vimala said from Venus she sees a beautiful light. Sees a beauty of vast darkness. I ask clear and bright light from the star to transmit light and peace to all beings.
Mm-hmm.
And Elizabeth says calm and expansive. This is from the meditation before. And Vimala says thanks us and says it's a pleasure to be in circle, and may you all be filled with joy and light on your path. Warmest wishes. Jen Maitreya says beautiful meditation. Thank you. And and that was a lovely healing circle too. I think we always we feel it's important to do that.
There's the power of the collective.
Yeah,
very important.
Yeah, it's important to focus there, to take time and to think about what's needed, and to focus energy there. Yeah.
Looks like we got some other things coming in.
So Athena says, Mark and I have been seeing lots of shooting stars in the mountains in Colorado. I bet. You're up very high. And Healthy Hypnosis says, such a treat. Many thanks to all. Yeah. Well, what a lovely time. Be in circles. She's on it. Kat says, she wants to go to her homeland with us. Okay. A beautiful meditation. Thank you. Kat, have you not been with us to Orkney? See, we have to go just for that reason. And Jen says, is there a way to find out more about the work being done in the Orkney Islands? Yes. Yeah. You can Google the Orkney dig. They have videos. I haven't checked it lately, but they keep that site pretty updated, and they show photos and videos and talk about what they found. It's massive. Oh, and the other thing, it's very charming. Poor people who own the house, but there's a little house, and then behind it is the Ring of Brodgar, which is massive. And then now their front yard is the dig. Yeah. It's a massive dig.
The website is Orkneyjar, JAR. So you can see the Norse effect of on the dialect and the Orkney.
Yeah. Ooh, and so they're the Orkney Islands and the Shetland Islands. And the Shetland Islands are just north of the Orkney Islands, and they're really part of the same archipelago. Thank you. Tough. And
she's a wordsmith, but sometimes that southern upbringing kind of,
I don't know what you're talking
tripping
about.
over it.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't know how to pronounce something properly. I haven't said it enough. But if you watch Shetland on the BBC, there's a mystery series. It's worth it. I love to watch the BBC mystery series because it takes you to different parts of the world. So we've been watching some things in France. And anyway, you'll get a really amazing feel for Orkney.
Yeah.
Because Shetland and Orkney are essentially one and the same. They're different countries, but they're the same.
No, they're the same country.
Shetland is? Oh, the Shetland Islands. Oh, yeah. But what's north of Shetland?
The Faroe Islands.
The Faroe Islands.
Denmark, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Shetland, it's so wonderful.
Although Norway would say that it belongs to them.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get involved.
About 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, we won't get involved in that. But yeah, you can really have the experience of it, and you'll see what I mean. It's so expansive and it's beautiful. So there you have it. Cold cold island life. It's great.
Look at the weather right now. Let's see what the weather in
Well,
Kirkwall is. I got it on
well,
my phone because I look
okay.
at it regularly and think about.
I can guess it's about
let's see. It's
18 degrees and raining.
All right, 18 degrees and raining.
No,
Let's
it's
see.
probably
No,
30
okay,
degrees
so
and
we've got it's 39
Okay.
and raining.
Okay. Well, raining, you can pretty much guess.
Yeah. Okay.
So wonderful. Anything more that you would like to
No, I
add
think
as
we're
we
good.
close our solstice?
Okay, I'll go ahead and close circle.
Okay.
Anybody have any last thing?
Jen says she loves Scotland. It's a beautiful
It's a
place.
magical place.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We wish
Thanks
you
for being here.
Happy holidays. If you whatever you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, have a great time in this slowed down time, and may you find the slowing down that we're supposed to experience as opposed to the revving up that we've been experiencing as we head into the season. And we will see you again in the new year.
Yeah, well, at the equinox, spring
sure.
equinox,
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Okay.
And
that's a little ways off. But
Yeah, I'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check in on your meditation on
Mhm.
on the wish. So let's go ahead and close circle.
Okay.
The sun is a circle.
The sun is a circle.
The moon is a circle.
The moon is a circle.
The earth is a circle.
The earth is a circle.
The drum is a circle.
The drum is a circle.
We are a circle within a circle.
We are a circle within a circle.
Thank you, everyone. And if you want to continue your celebration of the solstice with us, tomorrow I'm doing a meditation before Jamie Sieber and Agu's concert that will be happening. So if you go to sacredstream.org, you'll see the link to register for that concert. And
it's by donation.
It's by donation. And if you don't know Jamie Sieber's cello sounds, you have not lived.
It's remarkable.
Beautiful for this time of year in particular.
It's extraordinarily meditative. So it's just a perfect way to celebrate the solstice. Anise is going to do a meditation to start the
a different meditation
to start the program. And I invite you to, if you do join us, to have a nice warm tea or something to drink, turn down the lights, light a candle, get comfortable, and let Jamie and Agu bring you into a myriad of remarkable places.
Lay down on the floor. That's the best way to listen
get
to
in
this
a comfortable
music.
position. Yeah, it's very transportive. You will be altered listening to it in a very good and positive way. So with that, we will close.
Okay, we will continue. Take care, everyone. So wonderful to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.